Hello, my most amazing artists. This is our second day of our moving lines, Hokusai, the Great Wave paper relief sculptures. So while you're getting out your materials, your sketchbook, your pencil, your scissors, your glue, your crayons, a large piece of paper, and strips of paper. That large piece of paper is your blue background. So your sketchbook prompt is, draw a time you are around water or in water. It could be a pool, a lake, or an ocean. And teachers, you can pause the video here and give them an opportunity to sketch in their sketchbooks and talk about what they have. So our essential questions for today are, how do artists work? How do artists create work that effectively communicates? I can try, and then our I can statements are, I can try different paper building techniques. I can create a paper wave sculpture that communicates movement. So today we're going to continue looking at the Japanese artist Hokusai. And of course, this is a wood print, and his work is called The Great Wave. It depicts a large rogue wave and Mount Fuji and 3 boats. I wanted to just share with you for fun that this great wave, even though it was made a long time ago, it still has an impact in popular culture today. So you can see here on the left is a building that has the Great Wave over 6 buildings, and it's in Moscow. And then on the right, there's a building in London. And actually, what's kind of funny about it is there's a volcano in it. And the reason why Mount Fuji is a volcano is because this building actually burnt down. And the residents love the Great Wave so much that they decided to rebuild it and make Mount Fuji a volcano. So as you can see, for fun, the Great Wave is also an emoji. It's in popular culture like Cookie Monster and in fashion. So today you're going to watch a video about how to make the paper relief part of your sculpture.
Today we're making our paper wave relief sculptures. These are relief sculptures because the paper waves will be attached to the blue background we created last art class. We're going to create movement with our paper strips. Now I'm going to show you some techniques to transform paper. The techniques will take our flat white paper and make it into a 3-dimensional form. The first thing I'm going to show you to do is folding. So as you can see, here are some examples of folded piece of paper. So all you'll do is you'll take your strip here and you will go back and forth. Like this, back and forth, so that they're on top of each other as you bend and as you fold. Now, I folded this so that it was very, the edges were creased really hard. You can also fold it so that they're looser and then they become more loose instead of really tight like this. So that is folding. The next thing I'm going to show you is curling. So here's some different examples of curling. So I'm going to take one of these strips and I'm actually going to cut it down the middle to show you the curling. Okay, so you're going to get your pencil or a pen, and you can test the difference between the pencil and a marker because they have different thicknesses. So you roll it around the pencil to curl it. Like that. And then it creates this nice spiral. Now, this one in particular, I just curled a little bit of the paper. I made it look kind of like a fringe. So I cut and not all the way up to the top of the strip. Okay, so here's what it looks like if it was with a pencil. This one right here is just the thickness of the paper is less wide. And then if you do it around a marker, so you're just holding it tight and rolling it around a marker. Okay, there you go. It's a little looser. The way I got this one right here is I just, instead of curling it so tightly, I just twisted it like this. And then it kind of stayed like that. So it was more of a twisting action. Okay, so we'll put those back. You can also just roll without having it on a pencil, and it will be even tighter, but it might not be as circular. It might be more like a bent shape, but you're still curling it. Like that. It's just less of a circle and more like a triangle. Okay, the last thing that I'm going to show you is cutting. So these have a combination of cutting with curling. This creates more of a fringe, this creates more of a curl at the end. So the difference between these is where I cut them. So this one I cut a little bit and I stopped. I didn't cut all the way to the edge of the paper. And I cut and I stop, 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 like so. Now, in order to get them curled like that, you'll just take your pencil and curl it around. Now you could curl it in different directions, like that. Curl it like this, and so on. In order to get this curl, what you're gonna do is you're gonna cut from this end going up. Now remember, you wanna cut, but don't cut all the way so that it cuts it off. Okay, and then you'll do the same thing with your pencil or a marker or anything that's round to get your curl. Now these would make really good waves. They might make the best waves that you want to have in your relief sculpture. Okay, so there you go. And there's our different waves. Now what I'm going to show you is how to fasten and attach your pieces of paper to your background with tabs. So as you can see, this strip right here, I have taken it and I have made a tab by folding one end up, and I've made another tab on this end, folding one up. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my glue and I'm going to put a dot, attach it to my base, and then I'll take an, oopsie. Then you're going to count to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then you're going to do another dot on the other end and count to 10 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so now you've attached it to this base, like so. Now, another thing you can do to fasten things onto your base and to connect different pieces is that you can fasten it by cutting right there, a little strip, cut right there, and you're gonna loop them around. And as you can see, the two slits are gonna go into each other like that, okay? And now they've made a loop like that, okay? You could take that and you could glue those tabs down, but it's already connected and it's not gonna fall apart and become loose. So then what I want you to do is, now you're gonna take your 6 strips. You can cut them like I did, make them smaller. You can keep them big like they already are. You can add color if you'd like to them. You can add different textures and patterns and color to them. Or you can leave them white. That is totally up to you. So then you're gonna experiment. Here's our first tab. You can experiment with putting other tabs on there and other pieces, other strips. You could cut them in half and make them smaller. Remember, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, and this one's kind of leaning to one side, so I might go like this. Now again, if I want to curl it and attach it to the other side, I put a slit here and a slit here, turn them, and then fasten them like that. You could do that if you wanted to. And then I could attach that this direction if I wanted to. Oop, I didn't count to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And it's heavy, so it's falling over, and that's all right. So I'm going to continue to use all 6 strips and build up on our different surfaces that we've created that are blue. Okay?
So right here, I've just done a screenshot of the paper building technique so you can go back and reference it if you need to. So now that you've watched that video, you're going to complete your paper wave relief sculpture. You're going to post multiple photos of it to Seesaw and share about it. The reason you're going to do that is because your sculpture probably needs to be seen from multiple angles. Go ahead and take one of the top, like here. You can take one of the side, and then one of an angle, and post it to Seesaw. Your artwork should have these things. You should use all 6 strips of paper. You should at least use 2 different types of paper building techniques, and have good craftsmanship. So again, we're going to reflect and respond. How do artists work? How do artists create work that effectively communicates? And I also want you to talk about, in your response in Seesaw, did you overcome any challenges? Was there a time that you had to figure out another way to create this paper wave because you didn't like the results that you got? And also, thank you for taking the time to do this lesson with me. I'm very excited to see your finished artwork.